Alrighty, let's do this real quick. Finds a body. Whack, 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 whack. Oh, you guys are oh so cute. Let's get some more of your friends over here too. I really hate these little field generators. We gotta get rid of that guy there because he'll just cause all kinds of problems. Stop running away. No one likes a coward. Alright, let's take a little knee here. A knee for mankind. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a body. I don't think my body is here. No, I don't think there's a body here. Aha, I hear the subtle beeping of a glowy. Oof. A lot of things dying there. Nothing like a big old pile of bodies around you. Just gonna grab this body, don't mind me. Alright, mission is complete. I will come back to this in a bit. 28-second log. Get 20-second log out. No! Let me see if I can find an answer on. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Where did it go? Where did the chat go? There it is. Now, let's see here. Capture window, huh? Let's see here. Capture window. Capture window. Alright, so if we add in a window, where is our window? Add in a window capture. And we want this to be OBS. Discord Community Explorer. I don't see one for the OBS window here. That's not going to work. Chrome YouTube Community. Really? Oh, that is not what we want. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Huh. Let's see here. For those who watch... Hey, Ladera, how are you doing today? I'm trying to figure out how to get the chat to come up on the screen. Stream elements might be the way to do it. Yeah, but it doesn't pop up as an OBS dealie. But how are you doing? I mean, there is one way I could do it, but I don't want to do it that way. All right, so let's just get back into the game. One day I will figure out the secret of getting the chat in there. All right, so today we're going to talk about, let me see here. I got a little PSA event going on today. We all like my PSAs, am I right? Okay. We got a fun PSA. All right, where is Ouroboros? Salutations, my name is Phil, aka JCServant. Welcome to another exciting City of Heroes PSA video. So, for those of you who keep up with Fallout Queen, when I was doing the last video recording, I mentioned that I got 20 extra merits that I wasn't expecting, on top of the 30 for finishing off the mission for a quick 50 merits. You might recall I was doing this storyline here, the Hollows. And I finished off chapter 4 and I got these bonus things. So, and it came with a merit badge. So I looked it up. I looked it up online, and it's technically an accolade and whatnot, I believe. And it's called the Excavator Badge. So you get this accolade by completing every story arc within the Hollows, which includes Officer Wincott versus the Trolls, Flux the Outcast, Julius the Kind-Hearted Troll, in the Heart of Hollows. And earning the badge rewards 20 reward merits. So, I didn't realize there's so few things in the Hollows. So, that's very interesting. I did a little bit more digging, and there are numerous accolade badges that have the same reward of 20 reward merits once you do them. And you can find those easily enough by looking for them on the internet. And I found it by the Excavator Badge, but and whatnot. Apparently they added these in with issue 25, which is, I believe, a Homecoming edition. And they've got one, for example, for Atlas Park. So if you do all of the missions in Atlas Park, then you will get the Agent of Order badge, and that will be another 20 reward merits. The Agent of Order badge requires you to figure out or run Matthew Hasabe's What Was Lost, Officer Field, No More Fears, Aaron Theory's Reason to Fight, Sandra Costell's Lay Down Your Burdens, and all 3 of Twin Shot's arcs, right? The Shining Stars Part 1, 2, and 3. Doing all of those will get you the Agent of Order badge, which will get you 20 reward merits. Normally, most of you who watch my shows know that I am not a huge fan of badges. I just don't care about them, because normally my argument is they don't give you anything. But in this case, they do. It's like the exploration badges. Every time you get an exploration badge in an area, you get 5 reward merits. So here, when you finish off these story arcs in a particular area, and you get a badge for it, you will oftentimes get 20 reward merits. There's more of these on the hero side than there are on the villain side, but there's a couple on the villain side. And then there's a couple of them, I believe, for Praetorians. Though those are a bit more complicated and harder to get. You really got to do a lot of missions there on the Praetorian side, I think, to knock those out. I'll do more digging on these. But since I just did the trolls one here that you see here on the screen, I'm going to review for you what this meant to my character who did this, right? So we did Officer Wincott versus the Trolls. That was 20 minutes it took me. 7 reward merits. It was 2 door missions, a couple of hunts, and whatnot. Then you went to Flux the Outcast. That's where you get to fight Frostfire. And that's one of my favorite ones. I've done that one over and over and over again. It usually takes me about an hour, sometimes a little bit less if you push it. And that rewards 18 reward merits. The third one is Julius the Kind-Hearted Troll. That one is a pretty short one, just a couple of door missions, a hunt. And that one, the last time I ran, it took me about 20 minutes, maybe a little less. And that one gives 10 reward merits. Finally, there is the Heart of the Hollows. Now that one, it only has 4 missions, but that third mission is a beast, as you got to fight Ada in the huge cave along with his little boss minions. And that one can take you, that cave is really dense, and that one can take you long time if you don't have stealth or just get lucky fighting Ada's guards. But the last time I did, it took me 52 minutes. I would say you probably average closer to 70 minutes on that one, but it does pay out a whopping 30 reward merits, which is more than fair for the amount of time that it takes. Now, all 4 of those together, if you add those up together, comes up to 65 reward merits. And when you finish them all, you get an extra 20 reward merits for a grand total of 85 reward merits for something that will probably take most people, I would say, about 3 hours, maybe a little less. So that's not shabby, and it's a fun time, and you get the badge if you're into those, for that. So check those out. Those are fun. Those are fun badges to earn. You'll find them by searching for the accolades on Homecoming. That will pull up the wiki page, and you're looking for. Let me tell you where you can find them exactly. Under the issue 25 badges is where I found them under the accolades section. So they're story arc accolade badges. So there you go. The list that I see here is like Agent of Praetoria. Let me see if the Agent of Praetoria has reward merits. It does not. You just get a badge. I don't see any mention of a Praetoria. I'll need to do them myself and see if I get, maybe because the wiki could be wrong. There is Agent of Order, which is Atlas Park, Excavator, which is the Hollows, Aftershock, which is Fault Line, Port Authority, which is Striga Isle, Storyteller, which is Kurotoa, and then there is Vigilant for the Riki Warzone, Determined for completing every story arc in Dark Historia, and then Agent of Chaos for completing every story arc in Mercy Isle. Now, the one thing I've not been able to find a lot of, sadly, is more villainy stuff, right? I just listed a whole bunch of hero stuff for the most part, but only Mercy Island comes into my mind as being a villainy one. So there is that. Let's see here. Mercy Island. Yeah, Agent of Chaos is Mercy Island. There is Striga Isle. Is that villains or Striga Isle? Striga Isle. Let me look it up. That's a co-op hazard zone. I wonder if you could do that as a villain. But yeah, there's just not a lot there for the villain accolade badges, sadly. It's mostly on the hero side. I'm just double checking again. Yeah, story arc badges are Riki Warzone, Darkest Stories. Nothing that you couldn't get on a hero side except for Mercy Island. So there is Stowaway is for completing every villain story in Striga Isle. So, and that does give you 20 reward merits. So you can find those just by searching for some of that text I just mentioned there. I'll try to put a link in the description below as well. Thank you guys so very much. I probably spent too much time talking about this. Haha. But until next time, may God bless you. And that's a wrap on that particular recording. Haha. Wasn't that fun, Ladira? All right. What else are we going to do? We're going to talk about dominators. That's what we're going to do. Right, now we're going to talk about, is it worth using the immobilized powers on people? Is it worth using the immobilized powers on people? And let's see here. We're going to log into our little electric-y character here. Mini Shocker. Really need to get her a different outfit. Does she have a mission here? No mission. What level is she? 21. Let's go to Talos. All right. Salutations, my name is Phil, aka JCServant, and welcome to another exciting City of Heroes video. Today I want to do a quick video talking about is immobilization worth it for controllers and dominators, right? We've been talking, I just released a video how to solo a dominator or something. Maybe it's a corruptor, I don't know. But somebody was like, well, I don't like to take the immobilized powers because things still shoot you when you're when they're immobilized, and so it's not worth it. And what does it do? It doesn't do much, right? So we're going to find some bad guys, and we're gonna do some things for science, right? We're gonna do some things for science. I don't know if I can do it outdoor here in Talos because sometimes you go, well, we got a couple of regular mobs here. We can mess with these guys, right? Hey, ESL. So here's what we're gonna do, right? And I'm just gonna show. I did respond to those to a couple of people there, and my argument is this: if I just go and attack these guys, I have no armor because I'm a dominator. I'll take a lot of damage. Let's say 1,000 points from the Alpha Strike coming back. If I hit them with a ranged, if I hit them with the melee attack, they're going to immediately melee back. I'm going to take a lot of damage. And if I hit them with the ranged instead, they'll start shooting at me, and I'll take some damage, and some will start running towards me. So the Alpha Strike's not as bad if you start off from ranged. If I immobilize them, my argument is that you take even less damage because some will still attack you from range on the Alpha Strike back, but some will pick their nose. And you won't have them running towards you to compound you with more damage. And of course, if you can hold them, that's the best. But the hold power, so right now I don't even have a hold power, I have a sleep power, which is probably kind of okay. But chain fences came first, right? If we take a look at our person here, chain fences we got very early on, right? And I think this is the sleep, which I didn't get till much later on. Okay. And this thing probably, these things can sometimes have a cooldown. This has a 40-second cooldown, whereas chain fences has a 12-second cooldown. So I can use chain fences on every single fight. Every single fight. Also throws in a little bit of damage, not a lot, but there you go. And of course, if you're doing the electric fences, you're going to get the extra endurance modification. There's usually some extra damage and other things that can sometimes be a part of these that can make this even more worth it than not using it. So keep that in mind. With the electric, it's -10. We'll look at some others as well. Now, so I'm going to fight with these people just using my range attacks to start this fight off, and let's see how well I do. I'm going to try not to use any major controlling powers if I can help it. As they get in close, my field will start draining them on endurance, which is a little bit of a check and balance, but we'll kind of see here. So we're going to start off by attacking this guy here. Well, so far the Alpha Strike is rather minor because this guy did not get involved. This guy's like, yeah, my friend's getting beat up. What's the big deal? All right, so let's just take on a lieutenant one-on-one and see how well that goes. So he's hitting me back now. He's running towards me. So you see, he's spending some time. He's running towards me. And now he's going to run out of endurance because he got too close to the electric conductor. Okay, so there is that, right? We'll go pick on some other people. We'll make a couple of examples. Here we got a lieutenant and a minion. So we're going to try to get their attention again without using any major holding powers. I don't understand what these lieutenants are doing. They're actively not participating in fighting when their minion is getting dragged into a fight. It's not something you see too often. Oh, now that did hurt. Oh, that hurt. Oh my gosh, that hurt. Oh gosh. Stop it, that hurt. Oh, okay, we got killed. Ouch. Oof. He came up and he really rocked my world, right? What have you. Hopefully the hospital isn't too far away. So generally speaking, yeah, you really would rather not as a fighter or as a dominator try to fight like a blaster. It's probably bad for your health. That's our first takeaway. Though I think he got a little lucky with that punch there. I do. That really did hurt. Now, if he was immobilized, he wouldn't be able to do the punch. Lesson number 1, boys and girls, range attacks don't hurt as much as melee attacks. Seriously. Those guys, when they hit you with those melee attacks, they hurt, right? If he's immobilized, even if he was doing range attacks non-stop, it would have been better than that. One thing you'll also notice, that when he was standing next to me, he was attacking pretty much non-stop as long as he had endurance, right? I do have endurance drain, but as long as he had endurance, he's going to attack me non-stop, just chaining attacks one after the other. That's our guy right there, by the way, right? So now let's immobilize him, right? So this time we're going to definitely immobilize him. Now let's immobilize him and watch him attack. So he's attacking. Now look, he's doing nothing, doing nothing. I'm going to keep him held. But you see this, guys? What do you see here? What's going on? He's doing nothing. Now he's hitting with another range attack. How much damage he's doing? Very little. Very little. I mean, it still hurts. And if there were 7 of them doing it once, it still hurts. And it adds up very quickly. But it's a lot better than what we were seeing before. Right? Keeping your enemies immobilized and at range is a good thing for a controller and dominator. Because enemies' range attacks hurt less. And whether it's because he's waiting for the cooldown to come off, because he does have cooldowns. They do have cooldowns. And maybe he only has 1 or 2 range powers, the way my Dominator only has 1 melee attack. And he has to wait for it to come off a cooldown, right? So having people, having people immobilized can absolutely help reduce damage. Now, I'm not arguing it's as good as a hold. Having him held means he would have done no damage. And if I have all 7 of them held, that's 7... times 0 damage is 0 damage, right? But generally speaking, when you use a group hold on a group of enemies, some of them are going to not get hit. 2 of them will be able to come after you start attacking. So immobilizing right after holding can pretty much make sure that they're one or the other. And it makes sure those 2 who didn't get held can only do minimum damage to you. Okay, and those attacks they're doing are basically on a cooldown. Now I'm going to have to be a little bit more active on this group here, because even if I got them immobilized, I'm going to take some damage here. But we'll see how far I get. All right, so we're going to hold them, and you're going to see a couple of them do some alpha strikes coming in here. All right, we're just going to make this a long range effect. I will hold the guy in the middle. But you can see here, now this is draining my health because they are taking some range attacks here and there. This is true. But you know what they aren't doing? They aren't immediately killing me. There's a lot of them and there's not that many of me, right? This should be a slaughter. Immobilize basically reduces your incoming damage by keeping things at ranged, okay? That's the lesson here. That's what I'm trying to get past to everybody. I'm not saying it's like as good as holds. I've never said that. But I'm going to put these guys to sleep now because I'm going to get killed if I don't. But you kind of get the idea, right? It does a pretty good job of reducing their damage. So think of it as a damage reducer or a soft control, right? Like slow is a soft control. Slow doesn't kill people, doesn't stop them from doing damage, but it definitely reduces their ability to do damage, right? There's some attacks that corruptors have that reduce enemy damage by 10, 20, 30, 40%. Think of it like that. Think of it as a damage reducer rather than a 100% stop, and then you'll kind of see its use. It's also on a really quick cooldown. You can spam it quite often. Even if an enemy escapes it this time, they're going to get hit with it next time. And it's great for bosses, because bosses, generally speaking, don't get mezzed with your first hit on them. You have to apply it over and over again. Immobilize is much easier to do with that, because Immobilize, generally speaking, is on a quick cooldown. So that would be my argument. You can let me know, but I did see a couple people say, well, I never take Immobilize because it's useless. And I can't buy that argument, boys and girls. I'm not going to say it's as useful as my sleep spell or whatever. This character doesn't even have a hold right now. But yeah, if I want to keep them both out for a minute, I'll put them to sleep like this. Sure. But that bad boy's on a 40-second cooldown. If that was a boss, it wouldn't be asleep. Plus, sometimes sleeping things wake up, and sometimes it misses. So having an Immobilize as a backup, putting Immobilize, right before or after they put to sleep, make sure that even if they do wake up, they're going to do reduced damage as long as I'm not standing right next to them, right? Now, the key to Immobilize is making sure you're not right next to them. Obviously, if you're going to stand right next to them because you're doing a lot of melee, then Immobilize probably won't serve that much of a purpose. Probably. So, but yeah. With Dominators, some Dominators have some really good melee attacks, like martial arts. You generally do want to make sure they're pretty well held and not just immobilized unless you're ready to tank that damage. Or you're playing an energy person like this one here, and you're going to go ahead and suck their endurance while you're standing next to them, which I'm going to do here. This is a fun little build because she'll just suck their endurance while they're there. Yeah, in this case, Sleep is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, not Immobilize.
Hello.
Hey. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just my quick thoughts on why Immobilize is valuable and why you should have it on your control. Oh, by the way, on your controllers real quick, it also activates their ability where they get double damage on things that are held and stuff. So putting a quick group Immobilize on everybody means that your pets and stuff are going to be doing more damage. So, and it's easy to spam. So yeah, it's even more valuable in controllers than it is Dominators.
Plus, immobilizing groups is really helpful because you can lock them in place so that the blasters and stuff can bomb them with the AoEs from the back.
So, but that's all I got on this subject. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you next time. God bless you. And there's another PSA video wrapped up. We have a mad city in the channel. How are you doing?
Pretty good. You?
Just living the dream. Zapping people with my little energy dom. Showing people. I've made I think how to solo a Dominator, and had a couple of people say, oh, I never take Immobilize. It's a waste. It's a waste.
Never. Especially not for controllers. That's how that's how controllers contain. They get the containment ability, and as far as Dominators go, you keep them there so that you can beat them up or blast them with whatever you got for ranged.
Yeah. Yeah, generally, Ladera, you can kind of think of it as like it forces them to stay at range. And if you're a Dominator, there are melee doms. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I play melee doms sometimes, but for a lot of doms who want to stay at range, it's going to keep them at range. And enemies do less damage at range. They always do. They always do. Why, I don't know why people would think otherwise. Why wouldn't you see the value of the fact that you're limiting enemies' damage by keeping them at ranged? In this game, I'm not saying every game, but in City of Heroes, there's a few enemies that do really great range damage, but the vast majority of enemies definitely suffer when they're forced to fight at range. Ask any blaster. Would you rather fight enemies that are far away or really close to you? Mind you, the blaster powers do the same damage whether they're close or far away. Maybe they even do more damage when they're closer because they can use their melee attacks and their PBAOEs. I don't know about you, but my blaster prefers them further away. My blaster does, my blaster does. Let's see here. Let's save this video. How you doing, Lord Chaos? Let me... We are looking for... Is there anything that anybody in the chat wants to see tonight in particular? Pretty sure I'm misspelling immobilize. Immobilize is good for many reasons, actually. Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick response video because I had numerous comments on, I think it was the video that just went up, I think. Where is that comments coming from? Let me take a look at my YouTube account. What video are these comments coming from? And sometimes when I see comments, I like to just make a video response. Sort by newest comments. How to solo a Dominator. Oh, it's how to solo a Dominator. Yeah, it's how to solo a Dominator. So if you guys want to answer some of those people on the comment section, you can go do that. They're right there. Haha. The case for immobile. How do I spell immobilize?
IMM mobile. Eyes.
Prevent something from moving or operating as normal. No, say it isn't so.
Immobilize does a little bit of damage. It's not much, but it does do minor damage as well.
Well, and on the electric one here, we see that it actually does, and drains their endurance rather well. So that's basically a very nice rider they have on that one. I'm just trying. Oh, let me put this character over here. But yeah, I have to take a look at some of the other Dominator power sets. Obviously, usually has a little bit of a damage rider on it, so that's a little something something. Yeah, but some range mobs will do nasty range damage. Sure. It's just rare, but sure. There's always exceptions in City of Heroes to everything, right? We say take lethal and smashing resistance all the time. But, sooner or later, you're going to fight things with, that only do psychic damage. And you don't sit there and go, well, lethal is overrated now. We shouldn't take lethal. We shouldn't focus on lethal anymore. So to say we shouldn't use immobilize because there's range people who hit really hard, it's kind of following the same logic. It's probably faulty logic. So if we take a look...
Stuff's going to hit you.
What's that?
Stuff's going to hit you much harder in melee than it will range for the most part. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, if we take a look at Aftershock here. Let's see here. We like Aftershot's artwork, I think. There we go. There's Aftershot's artwork. If we take a look at her stone cages here, we're getting very minor damage. We get the magnitude. There's a knock-up effect. Oh, resistance to knock-up. Oh, they can't be knocked up because they're being held to the ground. There's a 15% defense debuff for 12 seconds. That's a nice little rider. That's a very nice little rider. right? Yeah, you got them immobilized. They can't dodge. They can't defend, right? So that's a nice little rider on that one. I think most of the immobilizes have some nice riders on them. I think the devs understand, hey, people are going to see this and go, I don't know. But then you look at them, you're like, oh, these actually got some nice little riders on. Let's take a look at mental. No one talks about mental for good reason, but let's take a look at mind control.
Yeah, mind control does really bad damage.
So what does she get here? She has mesmerized, confused, total domination, master confused. Do we have a hold? Dominate. Dominate does pretty decent damage. Do I have a group? Did I skip it on this character? Did she even have a group hold? I might have skipped it. I made this character a long time ago, so you gotta forgive me. I was young and naive back then. Let me see if I look at her power sets here. Mass hypnosis is that would be a mass sleep. Deep sleep, at least. Here it is. Telekinesis, range, full immobilize, repel. So it's under telekinesis. So if we take a look at telekinesis. Okay. So 25% chance. This isn't even your typical immobilize. This is a 25% chance. This does other things. So not exactly apples to apples. Let me go find. Apparently mental doesn't have a really good group immobilize. Silly. They're too busy dominating everybody and setting them against each other to worry about silly little things like immobilizing them. Let's take a look at Symphony. Oh yeah, you can lock them down with mind. Oh, absolutely. I like that. That's my main character, my main dominator. All right, so if we take a look at Symphony. So what do we have here? Area of stasis. Impression serenade. Few confused. Foe immobilize. Aria of stasis. 30% strength. All right, 3 magnitude. All right, so this is definitely a group hold. All right, it's a 60-degree arc group hold. You get your 3 magnitude immobilize for all this. What else do you get? It slows down their fly, jump speed, and everything else for 40 seconds, which is kind of interesting if they're immobilized. And I think what that would mean, I could be wrong, is if you're dealing with a boss and they resist it, they would still be slowed down by 40%, which is a very nice debuff. And has a little bit of psychic damage. So that's kind of an interesting rider. That's more of a, well, it affects boss this way type of deal. And I think the power says as much here. Root your eyes. Stronger foes may be able to move, but they will do so to reduce speed. So this is going to be something that really helps you against bosses. Most immobilized powers struggle against bosses unless you apply it multiple times, which immobilize is pretty good at because they usually have quick cooldowns to immobilize. But if you only got time for one big, huge immobilize, then you pop this in and it slows down your boss by 40%. And it's good for Sky Raiders. Right, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a lot of cases for immobilize, I really think. All right. Is there something that one of you guys... you roll hope because it lets me get close in range and move into melee. You're absolutely right, Lord Chaos. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So let me know what you guys... do you guys want to see anything in particular? Or certain class, certain character, anything like that? Or should I work on a story arc? I was talking earlier about I found out today that if you do certain story arcs in a row, well, you don't do them in a row, but if you knock out certain blocks of story arcs, like all the story arcs in the Hollows, which is 4 of them, which are numbered, by the way, you get an accolade. I don't really care about accolades, except this accolade comes with 20 reward merits. So after doing all of the trolley ones in the Hollows from Ouroboros, I got a grand total of like 85 reward merits or something silly like that between all of them. It's great.
Most accolades have some sort of merit reward after you get them.
I see a bunch on the list that didn't have them, sadly, but The story arc ones are mostly there, but like the Neutropolis ones did not see, at least, and now the wiki could be wrong. So I plan to do that one for science on a character, but to see if the wiki is wrong, but it didn't list it. And these were just the story arc ones. But some of them, of course, some of the accolades have like plus health and all that other jazz.
Permanent powers. Permanent buffs on the background.
But like the Stinger badge, it looks cool. Doesn't do anything for you. But a lot of these things are just a lot of these are just like, thank you for doing it. Monster Island? What's Monster Island? For exploring Monster
North
Island.
Peregrine.
Villain.
Far North Peregrine Island.
Villain Hazard Zone. 45 through 50. Huh. Have you done any Croatoa arcs? I probably have. I mean, I've done like at least dipped my toe in almost everything at this point.
No, you know Croatoa. Croatoa is a very interesting side. The whole zone is very interesting, very magical kind of creatures.
Let's see here. I wonder if that was one of the ones that had the accolade badge. That gives 20 extra reward merits. Now I want all the reward merits. Achievements. Accolades. Yeah. Storyteller. The Storyteller badge gives you 20 extra rewards. You get it for completing Piercing the Veil, The War of the Furbolg, which I've done before. Oh, I hate that one. Hatred's Hungry Heart, Crossing Over, and The Origin of Power. It is level 25 through 29. Well, I'm sorry. Some of them are 30 through 50. So you gotta have a little bit of a higher level character in it. But, so you probably have to have a character in their 30s. I have been working on my, as most of you know, I've been working on my melee characters. Falcon Force is 31. She might qualify to do all of those. I could totally...
Chaos of the Kind One accolade is actually really nice. It hurts your defense, but it gives you a nice buff to like regeneration and endurance, I believe.
So...
Got to do a lot to get that, though. That's all the Croatoa stuff.
Croatoa Piercing the Veil.
Need like 333 of each of the monsters in the zone.
Piercing the Veil. Oh, here it is. But it's up in the 30 range and not the 29 range. Rude. It says it's 25 to 29 on the website. Huh. She can only do the first two right here at the moment. There's the first ward ones. I wonder, so part of me is wondering, like, here's Striga 1 through 4, right? So I'm wondering, like, where they number these, if they don't also pretty much line up with these story arcs. It did for the Hollows, right? It doesn't necessarily for Atlas Park, though. Atlas Park's one is comprised of all different kinds of weird-ass things. But Striga Isles is Port Authority, and that one is Ring of Pebbles, Here and Now, Return to Vampire Mountain, and A Madman's Council. Okay, so it is these four right here. So if you do these four, you'll get an extra 20 reward merits. Yeah, but the Croatoa ones, looks like I can only see 2 right now in this level 31 character. So I think if you're doing them through Ouroboros, you need to be higher level. You need to be 35, probably. Yeah, the thing about this thing I've been talking about, Lord Chaos, is there's very few on the villain side. There is some. On the villain side, if you complete all of the ones in Mercy Island, you'll get the Agent of Chaos one. In fact, let me see if maybe I should just knock that out tonight, right? That would probably be easier. It does, oh my gosh, it requires parts 1, 2, and 3 of Dr. Graves. Oh no. Why? Why? I don't like Dr. Graves. But you know what? You get so many merits from doing a lot of these outside of Dr. Graves and maybe one other one. Like Earning Arachno's Favor by Kalinda, that's a ton of reward merits. The Origins of Snakes, ton of reward merits. I mean, you can knock those out in 15 minutes and make 6, 7, 8 reward merits. And then you're going to get a bonus of 20 when you do all of these. But there's a lot for the Agent of Chaos badge. So, Alkalade. Let me just see what else there is. The Hollows, Fault Line, those are obviously Blue Side. Port Authority. Croatoa. Vigilant in the Ricky Warzone. That can be done on the red side. Complete every story arc in Dark Astoria. That can be done on the red side. And then completing every story in Nova Praetoria. It doesn't say that it gives you any reward merits for it. I would imagine it probably does. That might be a missed typo. Oh, you get a Praetoria's Son or Praetoria's Daughter badge if you create a character in Praetoria?
Good luck. You're stuck there for 20 levels.
Yeah, I did it on my blaster. That was something.
Interesting arcs, but talk about Ghost Town.
There is no other way. Destined 1 for villains, VIP for heroes. Well, there's some typos in here. It is made by volunteers. Ignore Dr. Graves. Right! For me, it's Dr. Graves and on the hero side, it's what's her name? Twin Shot. I hate those story arcs. I hate them, Lord Chaos. They take so long and they give you so little in return. It's not probably worth the extra 20 reward merits just to finish off the Accolade just for that, because you have to suffer through those. The thing is, there's so few on the villain side that would probably be the fastest way for me to accomplish one of these on the villain side. There is, by the way, here's what's interesting. You can get the Recluse's Right Hand or the Recluse Betrayer. Whatever, I don't know how you get that one. But you get the Recluse's Right Hand by completing every story arc from Black Scorpion, Captain Mako, Ghost Widow, Scirocco, and Lord Recluse, which includes basically, I want to say around 12 or so, 14 different level 40 to 45 to 50 story arcs that are listed here. And how many reward merits do you get to it according to the wiki? Big fat 0. You do get a really cool looking badge, I guess, if you start your badges all day. If it's like a real badge I could wear on my shirt during streaming, I would totally do it for that. If it was like a real badge. But it doesn't look like. I should try this with. I need to get more villains up to 50. But maybe if I try this on a villain, I'll get something, and they just haven't put it in a wiki because no one's done it. Oh, Twin Shot. Yeah, Twin Shot. I can't stand Twin Shot. I can't Twin Shot. What's all that work? What's all that work, SL? But yeah, I mean, I could do these Striga ones. Now these Striga ones are a little bit of a pain in the butt. But I could do these, and I could get the story badge for this character, get 20 extra reward merits. I could do that. All that works, 0 reward merits. Yeah, I know. I could do all of that work on the Black Scorpion, Captain Mako, Ghost Widow, Scirocco, Lord Recluse. Now, each one of those is probably given, and since they are story arcs, they're given their own reward merits. But it's a shame that you do all that and if you got nothing for it. I'd like to think this was a mist. They just forgot to put it into the wiki. We've only got so much time in the day. I'd have to try it on a villain character to find out for a fact. It would take a long time to test that one for science. I don't think you have to do any task forces. Future of Free. These are all just story arcs, I think. Just regular story arcs.
Doing all the story arcs in Striga Isle unlocks a task force.
So...
Same thing with Croatoa. If you do all the arcs in Croatoa, it unlocks Katie Hannon. Where Striga Isle unlocks... Oh, I can't think of the name. It might come to me eventually.
Yeah, so what else is new with everybody this evening? The only mission from Recluse, well, it's called Future of Freedom. Let's see what that is, right? Future of Freedom. Future. Well, you're right. LRSF, I think, stands for Low Recluse Strike Force. Future of Freedom. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So that badge requires that you do full-on task forces. Rude. Wait a minute. The Future of Freedom flashback. Listen to this, guys. Listen to this. The original version of Lord Recluse's Future Freedom Strike Force can now be found in Ouroboros. So this was an old task force. So you're not wrong, Lord Chaos, but you're no longer right. It's the original Lord Recluse story arc. And now it is under the level 50 category and is designated as ARC 7.54. The version is true to the original release, with none of the nerfs that the content received later. Mission 4 Vindicator fights have all 5 heroes returned to their original level of 54. Mission 5's Freedom Phalanx fight has all 8 heroes returned, level 54. Shared reward cooldowns with currently existing version of the content. The Ouroboros version rewards all the same defeat badges you would normally get. This content can be run for the Masters of Recluse Strike Force badge, though it is obviously more difficult to do so. Completion of the Ouroboros version of the Strike Force with the old school challenge selected, which means no incarnate powers or set bonuses, rewards the new worthy opponent badge. So that is, wow. That sounds interesting. Now I almost want to load up my mastermind so we can experience the pain together. That sounds horrible. Level 54? Oof.
Lord Recluse Strike Force is pretty difficult. It's been a long time since I did it red side, but it's
through
one.
Ouroboros. It's not like a normal task. This is the original task force because apparently they made a new task force.
That's going to make it even tougher, probably.
Maybe. Through Ouroboros. And it would be elite bosses then. Instead of, I mean, it would be elite bosses instead of arch heroes. Or arch villains. Or whatever it might be. But they would be level 54?
Plus, the maps are probably going to be fairly unkind.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Ooh. Oh, we learned something new today, right, guys? We don't know what we learned, but we learned something. We learned that being a hero, our villain sucks. 4 crates of drugs to destroy. Yeah, Freedom Phalanx, right.
Freedom Phalanx is a good accolade. Atlas Medallion. Portal Jockey.
No, we're just saying they would probably fight the Freedom Phalanx in it. Crunch, crunch. Yeah, food for thought. Food for thought. I might jump on my mastermind after this and do that. That would be interesting. Put it at -1. Hope for the best. Put it at -1 times 1 and hope for the best, right? Oh gosh, she just critted smacked him with 1 hit there. Nice knowing you. Come over here. Nice knowing you. Come down off of there. And nice knowing you. Who's still shooting at me? Oh, good grief. There's a dagger to your heart. Yeah, so that would be interesting.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello chat.
Hello.
Hello Philip.
Alright. Alrighty. Let's see if we can find some more serpentine. It's like looking for the Gatorade. Oh, there we go. Are you guys hoarding a box of serpentine back there? No. No boxes of serpentine around here. Guys should really get better security. See if we can find some more of the illicit drug. No, nobody around here. Wait, is that it right there? It's on top of another crate? Now that's some forward thinking. Oh, I still gotta beat Tommy One Eye. Hello, Tommy One Eye. Jeez, oh frickin' Pete's. I mean, your scrapper rocks. Your scrapper rocks.
I can see Philip, you still playing that white-red angelic character.
Crunch. Yeah. Gotta keep beating him with the stick. But I'll probably play my robot lady today just so we can see that one story arc. The Lord Recluse story arc. It's a mastermind,
Also,
right?
The other thing is, if it's also the old one, I'm not sure how long that is per se, but I mean, if that's Lord Recluse was their top end one, so if it's something like a Shadow Shard, you might be there all night. But most things on the red side were generally shorter, so I don't know if it's quite that long.
Where you going, buddy? Yeah, they just don't make bad guys like they used to. Crunch. So it said bust his one eye and his crew, which you would just think would just be the enemies around him unless I missed one somehow. Hopefully it's not like kill everything in the darn train.
If it's an open train, yeah, it might be. Unless there's doors or something like, or floors or something like that.
Most of the time when it says just, you know, bust a boss and his gang or whatever, it's usually just the guy and the NPCs around him.
Yeah, in the same room as them, but if it's an open room, then...
Well, that big power takes a lot of endurance. There we go. Alright, let's see what else awaits us in Strigal. Look at the nice clean blue water. Save Dr. Francois, and you better do it within 1 hour. Boy, I tell you what, if it takes me more than an hour to save Dr. Francois, then I'm gonna switch over to a Muso game tonight. I'm gonna start up Star Trek Online.
Yesterday I played a little Pathfinder. I unlocked that guy that is a Griffon shifter. A lot of fun. He uses his claws to fight and can become a Griffin. The story in Pathfinder keeps progressing. Good game. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Pathfinder.
Pathfinder.
So, see you later.
Have fun.
Have a good one, peace.
Whoa, that was it? Just fly to the dude and kill the 2 guys around him? Okay. I didn't even use stealth. I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm there. That was easy. Oh, now they're going to switch gears. They're going to go from you need to kill only 2 guys out of 100 to you need to kill all 100. Well, it could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been them. Yeah. Boys, what you doing over here? Gosh, it hurts. It hurts them more than it hurts me. What is the power set of the character? This is War Mace Shield Scrappa. How are you doing, Will? How's it going, Jerome? How y'all doing? How goes things? We were talking early. We were talking early. We've been talking about all kinds of stuff. We've been talking about. Some people are saying that immobilize is not very useful. Useful power on your controllers and your dominators. I would definitely disagree with that. Boy, there's a lot of enemies here. Well, I don't know what happened to all my endurance, but that's not a good place to be at. Too tired again? Oof, I need a couple of inspirations there. Somehow end up fighting half the family here. I gotta love how there's always like two of them that are just gonna, we're just gonna stay back here and fire our machine guns once in a while. And there goes all my defenses. Because War Mace is as endurance draining as all get out. Gosh, I'm actually getting tired of hearing the gun sounds in my ears. Die. Visceral. Oh yeah, the visceral sound of the War Mace. Now that I can listen to all day. The machine guns I'm tired of. Oh yeah, but the War Mace, the nice little satisfying. Oh yeah, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. This is a kill all, so you're gonna be hearing a lot of machine gun sounds whether I like it or not. Oh, come on, kill him. Just the endurance cost is rough at the early levels. Yeah, well, it's still rough for me at level 30. It's definitely a soft encouragement for me to get into some early sets and stuff just to deal with the endurance. Because sets will usually, reduce the cost of endurance. Now you do sacrifice a little bit of damage when you're, especially when you're only using like 4 slots. You might sacrifice a little bit of damage versus just using IO, regular IOs, but it probably is worth it in this character's case just to have the reduced endurance. Because it does get to be a bit much at times. Whoa, that's an ugly boy. Boy, you're still alive? Oh, that's not very nice. The fleshy sound. Yeah, it is, right? It's just it sounds like you're crushing some bone and flesh, right? It's one of the things I really like about the War Mace, whereas like Storm Blast, I really enjoy the damage it puts out, but its sounds feel muted to me. Bad dog, right? Bad dog. Wait for the powers to recharge. Let's see here. Well, aren't you just a tough guy? There we go. Yeah, definitely got to take it. Oh, you know what? I got this recovery serum. I keep forgetting I got this. I bought some of this. This is a little expensive, but when you need an extra endurance shot, because you know you're doing War Mace and you're sucking it all up the wazoo, then you do what you gotta do. I might let me see if I have. I could put an endurance proc or two on this character somewhere too to help him deal with the endurance.
Well, the one that I always put on
satisfying.
characters is performance shifter in stamina. And then Numina's in health.
Bad dog. Look at all these guys, but they're all spread out. Rude. Nice arc on that crowd control melee attack there. That was a nice arc. So I have a video, Lord Chaos, on the top 10 kind of proc pieces. Those are kind of like individual pieces that have a pretty big impact. That a lot of them is through a proc effect or some sort of solo ongoing effect. So you can find that video in my archives. But then, like for set bonuses, you know, like one way to obviously to deal with, you know, with endurance issues, obviously, is just to get into some early sets, because sets, no, generally speaking, when I'm doing IOs, I don't normally put in a lot of endurance reductions into the offensive powers, like Whirling Mace here. So what I got here is, you know, is three reds, which I think they would normally be like 90-95% damage. It's just exemplar down a little bit. And then one accuracy, right, for some extra accuracy. But if I had like a 4-piece set in there, then it probably wouldn't be doing 90% damage, sadly, but I would get an endurance reduction out of it. Which I only worry about endurance when I run out of endurance, right? That's as we have to say, like, if you're draining an enemy's endurance, if that's your special power, it's kind of doesn't do much until somebody actually runs out of endurance. If you just take away half their endurance, they might as well have all their endurance. But once you're out, you miss it. Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Double kill. Oh, that hurt him more than it hurt me. Oh, that was so painful. Nice big sweep there with a critical hit mixed in just for kicks and giggles. Guy looks like he's the kingpin. Now he's a dead pin. Now this is a kill all. I've killed many of the enemies in here. Oh, haven't not been to the north yet, I don't think. No, I haven't. These guys and all their guns, they don't want to get close so I can just kill them all. They just want to sit there and just shoot with their guns over and over again. It's irritating. The mobilize probably wouldn't do much for these guys because they don't walk around a lot anyways. Now I'm down to I might be down to a few enemies here in this kill all, but they're not lighting up on the map. It's very inconsistent when it decides to give you the pity signal of like, okay, you're down to a few enemies, we'll show you where they're at on the map and whatnot. Nah, I don't like corner pulling them. It takes forever. There's a couple of, I don't do the corner pull a whole lot. You saw me do it like a little bit back there. But I did it before on that one group, but I don't like to. I don't like the corner pull. The fact that it's like the thing to do makes me dislike melee even more. You know what you never do, and I've shown you guys a couple of nights.
That's why you're supposed to pile them up like that. That makes it easier to take them down.
I understand the reasons for the corner pull. I don't like it. Right? Like, I understand that a car can get me to Salt Lake City faster than probably walking. I don't like cars. I don't like driving. So I don't like the corner pull. I never played a melee game before. Like, I play, you know, as I've shown a lot of times on the channel here. I play like a lot of Muso games, Monster Hunter, things like that. And you know what it feels? I mean, granted, this is a game that's a product of its time, but it reminds me of PlayStation 2 cheese. You have a problem with God of War and fighting a certain boss? Pull him around the corner. Oh my gosh, there was this one game. Oh, what was it? Guild Wars? It was Guild Wars, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember. This is Dungeon. Yes, it was Guild Wars. It was this really, really tough mission. I was getting really, really pissed because you're supposed to be able to solo it. And this boss kept kicking my ass over and over and over again. I was getting really frustrated. And I came back to it the next day after almost uninstalling the game. And it turns out that I was able to beat it the next day with a fresh mind. You know what I did? You got it. Ran around the corner. Because it couldn't shoot me while I didn't have line of sight. And I cheesed it. The AI was really terrible. If the AI acted even halfway smart, it would have been able to compensate. But the AI isn't smart. Right? So it became a de facto way to beat the game. And I rolled my eyes so hard they almost didn't come back down. Yeah, I get it. And I do it sometimes. But man, do I just... Ugh. Oh, great. It's another kill all again. Yay. Yay me. And I think when people are talking about, oh, you know, you can clear things fast with this character or that character or whatever have you, I think what we don't talk about is the fact that corner pull does take time. Okay, so I'll run around the corner here, so I block these guys up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, pretty much got a nice little crowd here now, right? It works, but it also slowed me down by 8 seconds there, right? Now, it's probably saving me a few seconds of chasing individuals down or killing them one at a time, so don't get me wrong. It definitely helps on endurance because you don't have to like use as many attacks because you kill them all with AoE. But, you know, it's really funny when you're comparing, when we were talking about some of these discussions where we're comparing like ranged attackers with melee attackers. I don't think that the range or the melee attackers, the people who advocate for melee classes really take into account that, you know, the corner trick here that I'm going to do here does take a few seconds to set up and pull them around. It works though. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I mean, I feel like the cheeseburger man afterwards, but it completely works. I was wondering if those other, oh, there they are. I was wondering if you guys were going to come around the corner. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can see here. Saves on the endurance. I don't even need to worry about endurance modifications if I just use the corner. Hey, guy. Do I have your attention? Good. Do I have all y'all's attention? Hopefully. The hard part is getting their attention. See, gather their attention. Then run around the corner. I get it. It does work. It works too good. Personally, if I was a game developer, I would either make this not work, or I would make it to where all characters have a strong taunt. In this game, or with tankers and with brutes, taunt reduces enemy range. So there's a desire for them to come in close once taunted, because their range attacks won't work very well. So I would probably just give all melee characters that, or just have enemies be more aggressive about trying to get into melee, so that people wouldn't want to use the corner as much. I feel like we could totally make this into a meme. There has to be like a meme thing for this. See, like, these guys are all spread. I don't even have ranged attacks. Like, how do I get them all to where they'll even follow me for the corner? Come on, guys. Follow me. How many of you guys want to come to the party? While I'm taking damage. Come on. Come around the corner. I feel so dirty now. I feel like I gotta take a shower. My blaster and sentinel are snickering in a corner going, look at what they have to do to get a fraction of our power. And teach your own to do it if you don't like it. I do it sometimes. I don't like it, but sometimes you need to get somewhere quick, so you take the car. Right? Oh, airplanes. Oh, actually, that's what I really hate is airplanes. Don't like airplanes. But I'm not sure, I'm not going to drive to Arkansas either, I'm just going to have to suck up and fly sometimes. I will say, like, if the game was set up to where... Wait, do I hear it beeping here? That's a weird sound. If the game was set up to where you had to do corner pulls in order to beat it and survive and all that, I probably would stop playing because I don't find it to be a super fun mechanic. It definitely feels like a PlayStation 1 or 2 era mechanic, to be sure. And some enemies are more melee heavy. These mech men do seem to sometimes want to just stay at a distance, but some enemies will come in without having to be corner pulled. Some. Ah. Ah, they were just out of AoE range, I think. Another way to solve this issue would just make the AoEs of the melee powers have better reach. That could be another way to handle it. I did have like I remember back in the day I had one guy I was duoing with, or maybe it was trios, whatever it was, and he kept saying, pull around the corner, pull around the corner, pull around the corner. I'm like, I had played so much ranged characters at that point, right? This is before I'd done any melee charactering. And I was just like, why? I could just sit back here and blast them, right? I'm just getting, I'm playing a Sentinel, so all my big boomins have nice big AoE, shapes on them. And it's because he wanted to do big damage too. So he wanted to crowd him up around the corner. And I'm like, that is so slow. I could just hit pew pew a couple times, they'll be dead anyways. We don't need to round them around the corner to... so you could do a big pew pew too. Yeah. Hashtag range character privilege, right? Range privilege. Oh. Where'd you come from? Well, I know where you're going. Scrapyard. Hello, big bot man. Oops. This looks like one of the rejects from Mega Man. Ah! I like just jumping in there, getting thick of them, beating the crapoli out of all of them. But it is kind of interesting in a game where you have like mixed melee and range attacks, right? If this was an all melee game, everybody would try to move in close to each other. If it's an all range game, like a first person shooter, for the most part, everyone tries to stay somewhat distant from each other, right? So this is a game where you have a mix of both. And you think about like single player games that have a mix of both. Like, you know, like Diablo or something like that. And you think about how they handle this particular, you know, question of balance and everything like that. It is kind of an interesting question. Pathfinder, well, the tabletop games for the longest have definitely had a struggle between like your big ranged AoE wizards and casters and then your melee people who just whack things with a stick, you know, and how do you make those feel? How do you make those feel powerful? Even though they do have AoEs, they'd be short range AoEs, right? So how do you dot those I's and cross those T's? And I think they've done a pretty good job by making those melee people feel incredibly powerful in second edition anyways. The melee characters definitely feel like they're in their own at this point. I'm probably missing one or two somewhere and it's not lighting them up on the map, sadly. This is what I was afraid of. A kill all where they don't show you where they're all hiding at. But for the most part with my tankers, I'm able to not to just pull them in just by taunt. Okay. This is one of those things we don't like, right? Well, some of us don't like. The whole, you missed one guy somewhere, good luck finding him. We were just talking about this in our Discord server. Ah. We couldn't light you guys up on the map because... Maybe because you have no life signs? Oh, now there's one left and now that one's lit up on the map, possibly. I say possibly because sometimes the indicators on the map are actually wrong. Oh, well there's an interesting place to be hiding out. Amazing. Oh my gosh, is this the third kill all? Mission 5, third kill all, and this one's kill all the villains on the boat? You can't get a signal. Oh boy. Well, and yeah. Chonk, chonk. Well, he's running off. Crunch. Maybe dial down the settings on kill all missions? Yeah, maybe. I've just got it to ×2, and I've got it to set the level wise to -1. But yeah, it's that's why I don't normally crank up a lot. A lot of people were hounding me for like, why don't you have the settings up higher and stuff? And I'm like, well, missions go like this, and you get some that are kind of long and drawn out, or they throw in +3s out of nowhere, and if you crank it up to +2, now you're at +5. Yeah. Now, let's see here. If we take a look at the map of the place. Oh, yeah. 3 big trains full of bad guys. You know what was really bad was, oh boy, that one mission I was doing. It's the Hollows. The Hollows, the 4th Hollows story arc, the 3rd mission. Huge cave, huge cave. And the density of mobs, even at ×1, was incredible. Very easy to pull 2 groups at once. Because they were just crammed in that cave, and it was such a huge cave system. Good thing it wasn't a kill-all, because, oof, you'd been there all day and night. And then they have runners. Like, you have a kill-all, and then you have, like, these runners. And you're just like, really? Wait for it. There he goes. Throw a poison dagger in his back. Always the way to go. Yeah, and I don't know whether to be upset or not at the kill-all missions. I mean, you play the game, right, to kill things, right, to fight things. So should we be upset when there's a huge-ass kill-all? I guess not. Right? That's what you play the game for. Generally speaking, if story arcs have kill-alls, they are worth more reward merits. Usually, not always. Ooh, level up. Dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, what you doing over here? I want to be in on the fun. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, so beautiful. What you doing over here, big guy? Waiting for someone to come and knock your lights out? No, the biggest problem with kill-alls is actually finding them all. It's kind of like those missions, too, where, you're going to have to find, like, 7 researchers. Like, good luck. Now, on this one, there was 4 researchers to save, but that's kind of a moot point, because if you defeat everything, it saves everybody, right? You don't have to worry about finding the researchers as long as you find everybody. That's like on that one mission where we have 7 researchers to find. I'm like, just treat it like a kill-all, right? Ignore the researchers. Don't look for the researchers. Just look for enemies and kill them all. Because you're going to find all the enemies before you find all the researchers. honk, 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 honk. Some of my friends and I have definitely been talking about starting Star Trek Online, though. We're a bunch of Trekkie fans. I don't know if I'd stream that or not, make YouTube videos out of it or not. Could be fun. Could be fun. I know other people have done it before. But then you get my unique brand of saucy crankiness, old man crankiness, so there is that. Gosh, darn Porter die. Thank you. Appreciate it. Kind of out of endurance here. Of course, I could have used some of those endurance doodads, but that would be too easy. Crunch, 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 crunch. Oh, I did not even realize my defenses were off. Whoa, 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 I'm on fire. That was definitely a go around the corner somewhere situation, right? Well, that was anticlimactic. A big swing there and a miss. Take another knee there. Oh, already full there. Oh, whoa, whoa, I'm on fire.
Talk about cringy song nowadays. You listen to the lyrics to that?
I don't know, but I just know I'm creaming these guys.
Hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Mm-hmm. I got a bad desire. Mm-hmm. I'm on fire.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't mean literally a 5-year-old girl. I don't think that would have held up even back in the 80s.
No, that was a big hit back in the 80s. You kidding me?
No, I said I
No,
don't...
Not a big hit. It wasn't a hit.
In context of my sentence, which was, I don't think it means it's literally a 5-year-old girl or anything. Otherwise, it would not have been a hit in the 80s. Sometimes you call your girlfriend my little girl or something like that. I'm not saying I do it, but back then. Even nowadays, some people have weird pet names for each other. Don't think a minute he was literally going over to like a 10-year-old girl's place and saying that. You can see Elvis calling. Was that an Elvis song? I swear it was an Elvis song. Yeah. Now, if that was coming from Michael Jackson, that might be a concern.
He didn't like little girls. He liked little boys.
I know. I try not to attribute malice unless there's solid proof for it. People say things and get taken out of context. Works really great on politicians. Boy, I tell you what, if I don't see another guy with a machine gun in City of Heroes, it'll be too, it'll be too soon. Recent release from C.S. Lewis. I didn't know he was still making books. That must be a little hard to do, given the fact he's not alive. Most songs from the 70s and 80s have questionable lyrics. You're not wrong. It's amazing what happens when you do drugs and make music at the same time. You make some questionable decisions. Oh, come on. Just kill him if I see one more miss. He's a ghost rider, right? True, true, true. Make an assault rifle tune for the next payback. True. Yeah, no, I'm tired of... Yeah, like, oh my gosh. Please make it stop. And they just stay back there and fight range, so it definitely makes me want to do the corner trick just to stop the actual noises for one. Let's see here. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Yeah, use your fists, use your feet, use anything else. Use laser beams. Like I said, the corner system does work. It's just weird. See, now, on some of the games you play, right, what would enemies do in this situation? They would have flanked around me, right? They would have split up, come from different directions. Running behind the crates here would have probably gotten me in more trouble if they had a modicum of true AI. That's why it feels like an exploit to me. They don't spread out all. They really come in just right around that corner, even if more space is available. Hello, guy up there in the top of this thing. In the middle of a kill-all. You've managed to hide yourself up somewhere up there. And of course, oh, well, now there's only one left and it's actually lit up for once. Oh, we got several bogeys on the radar. Sadly, the radar doodad that they use for enemies is really whacked at times. Like, it'll show ghost signals and stuff that aren't there. Okay, that mission's finally done. That's the third kill all. Holy cow, I hope this has a lot of reward merits to it. Oh my gosh, more Ring of Pebbles. Talk to Long Jack. Oh my goodness gracious.
There's a ring at the end of that arc, though. It's a nice little resistance buff ring, I believe.
Oh, yeah, right. Alright, defeat Heracles and his band of merry men.
I think it's called the Wedding Band.
Oh yeah, the wedding band's nice. It like lasts for like 2 hours, I think. And I don't know, maybe you can farm it? I don't know. Or you just get one and when it's out, it's out. It said in the description like it disappears or goes back to its owner once its magic runs out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It has a timer on it, so when the timer's up, it goes away.
let's see here. Reveal. Oh, this map. This is the exact same map as what, the third one I think it was. Oh, that was weird. Hewer. Ah. Give myself a lot of extra attention there. Hello, buddy. Hoplite? Hoplite? Oh, you guys with crossbows. If only this was the medieval era. Is that it? We all done here, boys? Good. I'm gonna take a knee for mankind. Crunch. Do we miss anybody here? Oh, I got some guys over here. Doing it at the missions. Oh yeah, the at the missions, man. Woo! Telling you, you need to make sure you got a nice stiff drink ready for that one. Well, there we go. 25 reward merits for 72 minutes. Average. I expected more.
Did you get the wedding band though?
Nah, I think like you said, you gotta go through the whole thing, or it's just given at the fourth one in the string.
Yeah, it is. It's from the whole doing all the arcs.
So.
And Ernesto Hess was the task force that it unlocks when you finish all of them.
Alright, so level 30.
Moonfire's the best one in Striga. That's where you can get, if you're looking for the defeat badges to get the Atlas Medallion, you have to get Werewolves and the Vampiri. So the Moonfire task force style is the best way to get those two defeat badges out of the way.
Let's train on up. Train up. One with shield. You gain strong resistance. Most. This is a crash power. This deflects. You're able to use your shield to defend nearby allies. Any teammates get additionally while this power is active, you get some defense, resistance, defense, and recharge rate debuffs, which is probably okay to have, I suppose. Toughness, or let's see, to get to weave, increase your defense to all attacks as well as your resistance to immobilize. That's what I want to get is weave eventually, but I need two other powers.
You might as well get tough while you're at it.
But might as well get tough while we're at it for some more resist. Alright. So we got that.
Those are the two you get. That makes you so much tougher to bring down any sort of build for melee.
Hey,
I pretty much don't
Braddock?
make a melee character without them, actually.
Radix says hi. And we're going to try... I'm going to look up this one on my level 50 mastermind. We were talking about this Lord Recluse story arc that you need to get the accolade. And the fact that it's even in the Ouroboros. So I need my mastermind. Where's my mastermind? Stalker, Brute, Controller, Mastermind. Speaking of Borg Queen and talking about playing Star Trek Online, this is my Borg Queen character. So let's see what's over here. And do I have a level shift on this character? Let's see. So it's underneath the maid. The maid one. And oh my gosh, look at all these story arcs. So many story arcs. And there's all Scirocco ones. So I think they put like little chapters and stuff on these. Makes it easier to figure some of that stuff out. Loyalist Resistance. Who Will Die. The End of Yin. Mergers and Acquisitions. Now the one we're looking for is... 754. 754. 754. 754. So here it is. The future of freedom. I have witnessed your journey through Oak Islands. No one planned destiny. I won't read this out loud, but yeah, it does kind of make it sound like, yeah, this is a big deal. I don't know if I have level shift on this character. I may not. I do not have a level shift on this character. I don't think I have a villain with a level shift. Oh, I would need to make an alpha. Yeah, incarnate powers make me sleepy. So that's right here. Oh, look at this.
Incarnate powers. Don't make 50s without them.
Look at this. Select challenge setting. Old school challenge. This option allows you to face the original version of Lord Recluse's strike force at a power level similar to how it was back in the day. Incarnate powers, enhancement set bonuses, and super inspirations will be disabled for the duration of this channel. Successful completion of this challenge will award the Worthy Opponent badge. Master of Lord Recluse's strike force. This option allows you to demonstrate your mastery of the strike force. To succeed in this challenge and obtain the badge, the strike force must be completed without any member of the team being defeated. Incarnate and temporary powers will be disabled for the duration of this challenge. Team badges check. To check for these badges is always enabled. The checks for these badges. Roll diversity. Tanker root. I remember they added these badges for like, you know, if you have diverse or whatever have you. And all this jazz. I don't care about any of that stuff. What's the point of having all those badges? I guess you get to brag. Enhancements have no effects. How many of you guys are playing your Ouroboros missions where enhancements have no effects? Anybody? Anybody? Come on, you get a badge for it. You know? Yeah. I don't know if I should try this without. Let's see. Not me. You guys aren't rushing to give it a shot, though? Don't you want to up your challenge? Would that make for a good YouTube video series? I'm going to play these characters without any enhancement bonuses through all of Ouroboros. Let's see. That means no endurance reduction, no procs, right? Like nothing. Think about that for a second. Yeah. Let's see. I have nothing for the alpha. So let's see. If you're doing a mastermind alpha, what do you want? Could get increased damage resistance, immobilization duration, all that jazz. Increases recharge rates. Try to think where I even use recharge rates. Stun duration and healing by 33%. Slow movement. It would be frustrating to watch, right, as I constantly die and I'm swearing at the screen, son of a bitch! Yeah. Increases endurance modification recharge rate. Honestly, with a mastermind, I'm not even sure which one of these to take, which one to build. Because honestly, I don't I really don't use a lot of this. Slow, hold duration, for all powers, increases hold duration damage, slow movement effects, and defense debuffs, and to hit debuffs. That might actually not be too bad since I'm using like tar patch and stuff. I think that, yeah, that reduces their damage resistance. I don't know if one of these has a to hit. I think one of these does have a to hit debuff. Resistance, fly, howling twilight, target slow, minus recharge, minus regen. Darkest night, targeted AoE has a minus to hit on it. Let's see, hold duration 45, but not. Well, nothing really helps resistance debuffs, just defense debuffs. Hold slow movement effects. But increases damage. That's kind of a selling point. This says it increases damage. Alright, so radial program. Alright. Let's make one of these guys up here. And apparently I have no notice of the wells, so I have no shortcuts available there. Let's see here. So you need, I think, in order to make this, I need to make 2 of these. So I need to make 2 of these. And that means I need 2 of these, right? So, Ancient Nictus Fragment. This is where I open up a notepad. If you wonder how I do this, this is my world famous method here. You pull up a notepad and you do screenshots. So, Ancient Nictus Fragment. Gray matter. I can't remember if it's the one on the top or at the bottom. Oh, it's the one at the bottom. Detailed reports and biomorphic goo. So I need 2 of those. So that glung here is me making a screenshot. So I can make 2 of these, which is going to require 2 of these guys. But then it's also going to require two of these. And then I believe, just to check real quick here, this guy needs a total core revamp. This is partial. This is total radial revamp, partial radial revamp. Total radio revamp, total core revamp, and partial radial. Oh my gosh. Total core, partial core. I need a partial radio and a total radio. Do we have one of those? Why does it have to be so complicated? Total
Have
core,
to make those.
partial core. Radial core, radial. Okay, so there's a total radial and a partial radial right there. So for the total radial and the partial radial, we need, for this one, we need meditation techniques. It's like you're building a shopping list. Isn't this exciting? I definitely have people like reach out to me and say, after watching your video, oh my gosh, thank you so much, because I could never figure this out. I know, I couldn't figure out either. Total.
You can make alpha with threads or shards. The rest you have to make with threads. Shards only work for alpha.
We're not making anything with no shards. Yeah, they definitely made this way overly complicated. All right. So I need 2 intuition boost and then 2 intuition radial boost. Okay. So now we're going to go over here to convert. And for 2 intuition boots, I need a bunch of biomorphic goo. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4 biomorphic goo. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I need detailed reports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, count them, 5 detailed reports. 2, 3, 4, 5. I need supercharged capacitor times 1. I need... It just occurred to me I should have taken her through some Darkest Story missions to get some of these, but too late. I need supercharged, detail, whatever. We got the detailed. We got the... We need glucon compound. 1, 2... 2 glucon compounds.
Gluon is uncommon.
Let's see here. And then we got the mutation, enchanted sand. And we just need 2 enchanted sands. Enchanted sand. Exotic isotope.
Exotic isotope is an Empyrean.
Yeah, I know. I know how it works. Created a video on it. I'm not going to have enough Empyrean merits. I'm going to have to do work. Well, that's okay. I just need... I don't need the full top tier alpha yet. Ancient texts. Alright, that should be enough to create 2 of these. Oh, supercharged capacitor? Did I not buy a second supercharged capacitor? Oops. Mm-hmm. Nanoteth growth. Really? Wait. Huh. Oh, silly, silly, silly. Oh, my brain is mush. My brain is mush. Your strength has grown with an access to an incarnate power that grants a level shift. New higher level difficulty options are available to you. Looking for a challenge or greater reward? Be sure to check them out. Only incarnate missions can spawn enemies above level 55. So that's all I need from this one for now. I guess I could go ahead and create this. Meditation techniques. So I just have it handy. But in order to make the doodad, I'm gonna need some more shit. Okay, so yay, level shift. I'm only doing it because I don't really normally care about the level shift all that much. My numbers go up, monster numbers go up. But the only reason I'm doing it here is because if you do this Lord Recluse mission, whether you like it or not, it is level 54 enemies there. And so having the level 1 shift, I don't know if it's incarnate. I don't think so, right? Because it's not underneath the incarnate tab. So I'm thinking, yeah, you get that first level shift whether or not it's an incarnate or not. Yeah.
The level shift is tier 3 alpha, tier 3 destiny.
Yeah, we know.
And tier 3 lore.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, it doesn't work unless only the first level shift works on most missions. You have to use incarnate missions to get the other level shifts. For the other ones to even be a factor, is the point. And the Lord Recluse Doodad and Ouroboros is not underneath the incarnate section because they separated the story arcs at level 50 into incarnate and non-incarnates. So I don't think the extra level shifts will help against this Lord Recluse story arc. Just the first one, because the first one from Alpha will. That's why I wanted to make the Alpha. Because everyone's warning me this is going to be very hard. We're gonna set the difficulty on top of this to -1, and we're gonna make sure that solo bosses are off and solo AVs are elite bosses. I'm gonna listen to the warnings you're giving me, man. I'm gonna listen to them, and we're gonna make this as easy as possible. So between my level shift, the -1 they're getting, the fact that they shouldn't be. If it's following normal Ouroboros rules, it should be just elite bosses. I don't know, though, because this is an old task force. It could be following normal, full-blown task force rules. We might end up with heroes, arch-villains, whatever. Find the security codes. Access the security 5. Oh my gosh! Yeah, this is. Woo. This is. Yeah, you can just see the objectives and realize. Yeah, you're playing on a real task force here, or an old task force. You know what? Just in case I need them, let's pull out the bots now. Who let the bots out? Beep, bloop, bloop, beep, beep. Access the security computer. 5 bombs to set. 12 chasers left. Steal the technician's coal. You know, you aren't kidding about this taking forever. Just this first mission alone could take you like a few years. Look at that. I've had grocery lists that are shorter than that. I'm not even sure where to go. Well, that's interesting. The map seems to indicate there's land out here, but I don't see any land. But then I see dots over here. Well, that's confusing. The bots have found things to shoot at. I've not told them to shoot anything. They just find things to shoot. They do. The bots get bored, and destruction and chaos is the result of bored bots. I'll try to turn that down a titch, but... Oh, we can go in here. Well, let's go in here, bots. What's on the inside? This right here is like a full-blown... Look at this. We got a full-blown building inside the... Oh, wow. This is crazy. This might not have been my brightest idea ever. Put the base on full alert. I want those suckers taken down. I spent too long in that Arachno's prison. It's time for some payback. Oh, okay. Well, I bet you killing this guy here checks off one of the boxes. Well, I'm just glad I found that recipe. I could finally make those chocolate muffins everyone loves. I really like how I can just be down here searching for stuff when my robots go to work. It's fine. Oh, there's Ancient Crimson. He is an elite boss. Mad, does that sound like one of the famous heroes to you? Agent Crimson or villains or anything?
Yeah, I believe Crimson's a contact on the blue side.
Yeah, because this one's called Agent Crimson.
Might be the same character, but if it's Crimson, he's like a contact in Character 9, but I think he's actually in Founders Falls, along with... there's another count. Indigo and Crimson. Yeah, both of those are they're over in Founders Falls.
Well, I'm really good at taking out elite bosses with this gang, so if he's just an elite boss, then we can handle that. But if there's 8 of them, what's that?
They generally don't get to AV until there's 6 on the team. Then it's automatic they become an AV, but if you're still they'll be elite bosses unless you turn that down as well.
Well, so and this is what I was kind of curious about, because in normal task force, like you can go as a single person in Homecoming, and you can do any task force. You can. It'll let you, but you will be facing AVs. You cannot turn that off because you're doing a task force. It doesn't care. But if you do an orb,
that's probably true.
Yeah. Oh, I've tested it. So. But now if you do an Ouroboros, you don't normally, at least in solo, you don't normally get AVs unless you specifically set it for solo AVs. But that's what I'm kind of wondering. Is this a task force or is it more of an Ouroboros? Or is it somehow both? Though, if that last fight at the end is against 6 EBs at once, that might overwhelm my bots. Heck, they're having a problem with just these guys.
Longbow can be pretty tough.
Well, I think they kind of... You seem to have like a little bit of a hard problem staying focused here, boys. Come over here. Focus on this one over here. Make yourselves useful. Oh, no wonder. There's freaking bosses mixed in with this shit. Yeah, but if there's like 8 elite bosses in the end fight, I think that'll end poorly for even the bots. Yeah, all these guys are a boss. No wonder they're hitting so. I was like, what could even take down one of my bots? Ah, if they're all bosses. Usually, aha, and Venom Dagger, there it is. Brought just for bosses. So Agent Crimson loves to run around, not only getting outside of my AoE debuffs, but also aggroing half the dungeon. I think it doesn't help. But stopping his regeneration is helping a lot. Wow, he is zipping around. There you go. Not so tough without all that regeneration. Yeah, that is a tough fight, even on the most minimum settings. And it probably only gets worse from here. Wow, all that to plant one bomb. Woo! Now, here's a question I was asking in one of my... Oh, I got the wrong character up on the screen. One of the questions I was asking in one of my videos I was working on today. So, do you guys prefer... do you guys prefer missions that are shorter, like 5-minute missions, or these ones with lots and lots of things that you need to kill or have to kill or whatever, or these big spread out missions? These missions here like this that really take some time to get through. Okay, so the chasers are those little airplanes, so I gotta kill 11 more of those. My bots are down there trying to fire at it from the ground. Brandon prefers the nice shorter missions. This guy looks a little sus to me. Yeah, they really do get bored. Depends if you have the time or not. You could have like 1 hour and either clear one mission, not the whole story arc, mind you, one mission like what I'm doing now, or you could clear like, let's say 4 or 5 smaller missions, which might clear a story arc. Some story arcs are longer than that. Which would you rather do? Just sink your teeth into one big long ass mission, or... This is kind of a crazy one here, right? Because it's got all these objectives kind of mixed into one. You prefer the longer missions, Ladera? That's fair. No, nothing wrong with that. Ouch. Let's see. In that case, you do the one longer one. With my scrapper, I prefer the... I don't know. I think even with your scrapper, this one would take a while. This one's pretty beefy. This one's pretty beefy. Boom! Blow up the helicopters. That's several chasers down. Only got 2 left. Oh, and there's one right there. He looks kind of wounded. Let's see. Just want to get this last chaser done with. I only have like 2 attack powers on this character, but they recharge really quickly, so that's probably the only 2 I need. There we go. All right, so now it says access to the computer, 4 bombs to set, and steal the codes. And I have no clue where any of that is at. But I think the best thing to do is go into this door right here and see what's inside door number 1. Right? Oh, now this one looks like a dead end. Ooh, I am guessing that if you get knocked out, this is where you appear. Okay. Instead of going to the hospital, it's one of those deals where you kind of show up in one of these rooms. Sadly, not a location for one of our doodads. Let's see what the arrow is pointing to here. Oh my gosh, it's another door. It's missions inside of missions inside of missions. Ooh, this one has 3 bombs to plant. Lovely. I could have probably stealthed this, but, you know, the bots, you know, they get a little bloodthirsty. Everyone's heard of bloodthirsty bots, right, bro?
Yes. Hello, bro. You're streaming on YouTube?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. We got some bots going on here. Bots going on there. Well, that's odd. It says to plant another bomb around here, but I don't see a spot for another bomb. I guess it... Oh, that was there for the technician. Laboratory. I think I've been to that one. And then radio tower 2. And my bots are back there just having a good old time. Now I'm supposed to access the security computer. Might be behind this door here. Maybe not. Maybe we need to go back into here now that we've done all of the planting of bombs. And lo and behold, I was right. I think, because there's a lit up computer over here. Woo! That first mission's done. That was just one mission, SL. And it only gets worse from here. You have done well, Strike Force Widowmaker. What does that mean, Strike Force Widowmaker? Oh yeah, no, hey, you're absolutely right, Fanturanic. I don't have to click on text very often. The bots just take care of business. And he's got... Oh my gosh, there's all... It just gets even worse. Yeah, it's just some random name they stuck in there, right, Ladera? Like they couldn't be afford to put the ampersand character name there. Because it's supposed to be the Strike Force name, so when they brought it to Ouro... Which I did the positron, the old positron through Ouroboros. And that was pretty cool. I didn't even think it was that much more difficult than any other story arc, just long.
Yeah, but they had to do the old positron before there were even travel powers, and you didn't even have swift or health or stamina.
Let's see.
You didn't get travel powers to like level 12.
Ooh. There is...
Made it infinitely tougher and longer.
Defeat Slinger, Steel Quilter, destroy mainframe and guards. Huh. This one looks kind of small. Steal the rifle. Ouro Lace rifle. Huh. Yeah, I'm a little confused as to what I'm supposed to be doing here, but you know, I guess we can just start by killing things. Yeah, trial powers were level 14. Yeah. Yeah, back in the day it was level 14 to get your travel powers. And it took forever to get to 14. You kids don't know how easy you have it these days. That is one big ass mech we're fighting there. I should be able to avenge my protector bot. Oh, that was a big boy. I remember the day you hit 10 gold, you felt, well, 10 gold, you mean like influence or something? Like, did you hit like 10 influence or 10,000 influence or something? 10 influence is easy to get even back then, but 10,000 influence or 10 million, if you got 10 million, oh gosh, that was an accomplishment. 10K, yeah, even 10K was definitely, yeah. Yeah. Kids don't know how easy they have it these days.
Yeah, especially with the leveling curve.
Holy sweet Hosanna. There's some big bots. Who are you guys still attacking? Alright guys, let's try not to kill anything else if we can help it, okay? Heal. Didn't I just literally hit the heal button? They're destroying our base. I bet they're after the Orestes rifle. I've got to stop them, but how? You can't. Temporal disruptor? Oh, that doesn't sound very nice. This is the epic City of Heroes writing that keeps you coming back time after time, isn't it? So the Slinger is an elite boss. The nice thing is, you know, normally we have to destroy objects with other characters. It can sometimes take quite a while, especially if you're doing like a defender or something on solo. But with the bots here, what do? You just press the #1 key and you just wait for the item to be destroyed. Check yourself. Oh, he calls up his own bots. Oh, that's cute. He's a mastermind. Attack wave beta. Okay, well, while they're doing that, I'm just gonna come over here and take this doohickey off of their hands. Wow. What the heck? Come get these so he's dead, but his battle drones are still around. Do my battle drones work like that? Do my battle drones keep fighting even if I die? Oh, come on, bots.
They go with you.
Keep them off of me. Where is his battle drones coming from? Kill them all, bots. I think I put y'all in defensive mode, didn't I? So shouldn't they shoot back at the thing? Yeah, shoot back at the things that are attacking me, so keep the aggro off of me so I can get the... Oh my gosh. I can't get this safe. There we go. I got a temporary power. Don't ask me where they stuck it at my toolbar, but... Alright, mission 2 wasn't too bad, boys and girls. So what's new with bro?
Nothing.
Playing anything new and fun and interesting lately?
With what?
I said, are you playing anything fun lately?
Nope. Been taking care of on the.
Hmm. Defeat future. Uh-oh. Defeat the future freedom phalanx. Oh no. Alright, here's where it gets ugly maybe. We have to fight them all at once. It's probably gonna end poorly. Uh-oh. Keep fighting. We need to survive. But do you? Do you really? The reason why you guys are losing is because you're literally using a bow and arrow. That is why.
Hey, Hawkeye does just fine with a bow and arrow.
Oh my gosh. He went into my kind place. He'd be dead the first minute he stepped into the ring with my villains. Oh, I got a bow and arrow. Gosh. Why don't you come after him with a paper clip or a Nerf bat? Alright, so let's see what we got here. We do have a big fight here. Looks like 3 of them, at least. And they might be chained together, aggro-wise. Hard to say. Plus some lieutenants and stuff, just for good measure. So this is going to be a little tough. This is going to be a little tough. If they're chained together, it's going to be real tough. So we're going to give it the old college try here and see what happens. Going to try just to pull one at a time and stay in defensive mode and see what happens. Being Primary Blue, this is so hard to watch. Right. Well, I'm not paying much attention to the story. I just want to see if I can do it or not. I will... If this is something that's doable, then I will eventually do this, I would think, on my story-based character that I do the stories with. Okay, the heroes are getting involved here. The back alley brawler is in motion, I repeat. Oh, and I'm mezzed. Oh, that's something you don't see too often. Alright, back alley brawler is just about done here. There he goes. You know he's dead when his endurance goes down. That's what you look for. Robots aren't doing too bad here. I'm keeping them healed up just in case, but... Now, I don't know if I could do this on a regular character. I guess I could with enough gear. You can do anything. They're just elite bosses. I just never fought this many elite bosses at once, but to be fair, I've never really tried on my... I don't play that many level 50 characters. When I do, I just pick normal missions, not ones with, I don't know, 5 elite bosses attacking you at once. But, you know, I mean, there was one story arc we did where we did have to fight like 2 or 3 or 4 elite bosses at once, but I happened to be with a group on that one. Never went back and tried to solo it. Elite bosses, one elite boss really will give my Dominator a run for her money. So I don't know how I would do this on a Dominator without pets. Now, Sister Psych is doing that psychic damage, but if she's doing it against my bots, I'd like to think bots don't have a real great susceptibility to psychic damage. And she's down. Okay. Good job, boys. Who's a good bot? You are. I honestly had no idea if I'd be able to pull that off or not. I mean, I know they buffed the bots, or they buffed the pets. Now, watch me come and try to do this with other classes like Sentinel and stuff and just get my rear end handed to me. Oh my gosh, it didn't complete the mission because I didn't kill one of the little henchmen that was around. That's hilarious. You kill like 3 or 4 elite bosses. Don't forget to get the henchman that was next to them. Now go and kidnap Miss Liberty. This is actually pretty interesting and fun. It's always fun when you're winning. It's always not fun when I'm losing. And I haven't had to go around searching around the map for some small MacGuffin. So that's always an added bonus. Steal access code, find base key, defeat Miss Liberty. I'm just going to run through the base, and if anything looks weird, I'll shoot it. Oh, that's a pretty character. I mean, with her really weird long legs. She's like the sorceress from He-Man, except with less feathers. You know, for a bunch of metal things, they go clomp, 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 clomp. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, well, it was nice while it lasted. This is exactly what happened, by the way, in a task force that I was running with a friend of mine. We had to quit it. This is exactly what happened. This is exactly what happened. So, a friend and I were wondering if we could duo through a task force. I think we did, was it Sutters or whatever have you? We were actually doing pretty good as a duo, and we were getting through most things. But then they had a clump of villains, supervillains, and it got ugly really quick. And what do we have here? Just like it said in the website, level 54 heroes. Yeah. Yeah. If this was Vegas, the odds would be definitely not on the bot side. Yeah, this is probably going to get ugly. Let me just kill this guy real quick. I don't need extra interruptions coming from behind. We're going to try it. We've come this far. But this is going to be tough. This is going to be super tough.
Got a sniper shot, try to pull him.
This is... I try to pull them. Oh, you know those guys are all freaking chained. But my bots are all ranged. But regardless, but yeah. The only good news is I've got a really nice choke point for Tar Patch, which, you know, for what that's worth. But man, that's heroes. This is going to be most unfortunate, I think, for me. All right, bots. I'd give you a pep talk before this, but you know. I'll give you a maintenance drone. I'll give you the best care I can give you. Now, good luck. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Oh gosh. I'm already hurt. I'm so hurt. Why? Ooh, that was close. And we're dead. Yeah, no, look at that. Look at that. That's literally 7 heroes at once. Holy schniza. Yeah. Who couldn't see that coming? I will... You know what? Because I'm a masochist, we're going to give this another shot. Me shooting first might have pulled aggro. Oh, gosh. There's... Oh, freaking longbow right behind me. Oh, come on. That's why I try to keep my flank clear. Hurry up, bots. Phew. Oh, I thought Minx was going to stay out there so we could pick her off. No, Minx ran back. Minx is smart. All right, this I'm going to send the bots in first. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Right, guys? Right. Go get them, boys. All right, pull them back here. Yeah, this is going to be so ugly. Okay, go get them. Oh, 2 bots are already down. Oh, Minx just slashed my assault bot and it died in 1 hit. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah, you love bots, but the bots don't love heroes. Now this is where usually I'm not the biggest fan of what's called unsolicited advice. But this is solicited advice, okay? What do you do to get past that? That's brutal. And that's what happened in our task force run that we did the other day. Well, it's been a few months now. But we got through like a good portion of the task force. And then there's this one part where they have literally like, 6, 7, 8 elite bosses together. Right? And one of those looks like they one-shot my bots to death. Yeah. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do against that. Now, maybe if you're going in with a really good tanky character, you can out tank all that damage they're putting out. They're gonna have bonuses because they're gonna have bonuses because they're 4 levels higher. They're gonna have bonuses because they're heroes to accuracy. They're gonna have buffs that they're clearly giving buffs to each other because I can see little buff symbols around them. Do any of y'all know how to take care of this by yourself on a mastermind? Guess I'm never getting that accolade.
Yeah, you really don't want to do task forces solo, but...
Well, again, like, I didn't know for a fact whether or not they would use elite. So up till this point, what did they do? It was elite bosses, right? Isn't that the weird thing, right? The heroes in the story, which would normally be arch villains in any normal task forces, were downgraded to elite bosses, which is what you normally get with single player Ouroboros story arcs. Wherever you see like a named hero, doesn't matter who they are, whether it's Bowman or whatever his name is, or Lady this or whatever have you, they're elite bosses, right? But and it was this way for the first 4 missions. Every boss I came across was an elite boss, even if it was Crimson Commander or whatever. But then you get to this mission, and suddenly it's a whole bunch of heroes. Yeah, I have some debuffs. I was throwing them out there, including an accuracy debuff, but it's just not going to be enough. This isn't a defender, see. I don't get quite the defense debuff that a defender would get. Not a mastermind. But yeah, no, decreasing their accuracy is always a good idea. But I'm definitely not going to be able to handle that mission with this character, at least the way she is now. So unless I can figure out some special build or something. Masterminds, it's funny. I think like one of the challenges with masterminds is either feast or famine. They either cream content or they get their ass total kicked, and there's no in between, right? Because what happens is your pets, generally don't take a lot of damage from lower things, but then once you get to a break point, suddenly they're taking all kinds of damage. You kind of saw there that I was even doing elite bosses in this game, no problem. Even when there's 3 of them on my bots, I don't think a single bot dropped. But then you get to these heroes, and that one lady was carving through them like a hot knife through butter. Bot down, bot down, bot down. Right? It's like feast or famine. Feast or famine. I don't have another level 50 villain, I don't think, that I could try that with, but I don't know if I'd want to. If I could do that mission, then I could do the other task forces. A lot of the other task forces solo.
Yeah, you really got to juice up the incarnates for stuff like that. I mean, like I said, it's Lord Recluse. That's the top villain. That's the top villain task force.
But you can't use. Well, you won't be level shifted more than 1. You might be able to use your other powers. I'm trying to remember if you can use your other powers though, but you probably could, maybe. Can I use my other incarnate powers in a non-incarnate mission? Well, let's take a look at Wildlight here. Or Unstoppable Firebug. I think Wildlight has more incarnates. But these are heroes. Yeah, I think you can. So yeah, you could bring in like the incarnate pet and stuff like that. Yeah, that'll help. Still think it would mean more than that. And the thing is with the bots and getting their defense and stuff high enough might be really challenging. Man, they didn't even last for a second. Whew. Those poor things. Yeah, and here's the thing, Bob. I can handle soloing 1 AV, right? It'll be a pitched battle, but I can do it on some of my characters. And when I was with my friend, we were duoing through AVs, no problem. But the problem was the part of the story where it's like, now here's 7 or 8 AVs all at once. And you're like, what? Yeah, if you have 8 people, that's a lot more doable, I suppose. Maybe. I guess. I did, when I did Sutter, in Sutter I think you fight, is it 2 or 3? at a time, and it was really rough with a full group. Now that's exemplar down to 30. It wasn't the best group in the world, but it was hard. It was hard. Yeah. That's a little sad, though. I'm a little upset that they put that into Ouroboros, because most of the other task force, you just go out and you do them, right? You have to go talk to the contact, but they're not available through Ouroboros, right? So what that means is I'll never have a full clear list of Ouroboros on a solo character, unless I can figure out how to solo 8, AVs at once. So I'll never have an all yellow, right? At least on the villain side. I assume there's probably a red equivalent or a blue equivalent somewhere, but maybe not. Maybe not.
What, the top line 50 task force? Miss Liberty is one of them.
No, so normally task force are not listed in Ouroboros, right? Normally, for Miss Liberty's task force, you have to go talk to Miss Liberty out in the world, right? You can't go to Ouroboros and activate the mission the way you do story arcs, right?
Well, I think a lot of the older ones are there.
The older ones,
sure. The old Sister
but
Psyche,
they defanged it. At least the ones I played so far. I've never seen a situation where I had to fight AVs in an Ouroboros. Even in the old Positron, I did that not too long ago. I didn't fight an AV. There was no AVs. It was EBs. Because it's an Ouroboros story arc. There's no AVs in Ouroboros story arcs. Normally. But they definitely kept them in Lord Recluse, which does open up the possibility that maybe there's some other ones, to your point, that there's some other ones maybe they brought in and they left them at AV level and don't let you downgrade them to EB. But what's interesting about the notes in the wiki is they made sure to point out that that there was no nerfs, and in Mission 5 you have to fight all 8 heroes at their original level and all that other jazz. Let's see. Miss Liberty Task Force. Now, what is this? What is this a list of? Issue 27, page 3. Which this was done November 26, 2021. So, I always said, I thought about, I said to people, right now, when there's a new patch out, I read the notes, I make a video. It's one of my most watched videos usually, is whenever there's a new patch, I read the patch notes. And I asked everybody, what would be the thought if I was to go back and read old patch notes and make videos out of that? And most people said they weren't interested. But this is the kind of juicy juice you only get by reading the old patch notes to see how they change these things. So there is a mission in Granville where you go to invade the Freedom Phalanx's base and go against 4 of the heroes, but one at a time. Miss Liberty, Minx, Valkyrie, and someone else, but that many once is crazy. Lord Chaos, do you know if they demote them to elite bosses when you're playing solo with EBs turned on, or do they push them to that? So when we look at the old notes, task. Oh my gosh. The Future of Freedom, both versions, or Miss Liberty Task Force, Apex and 10 Mage Task Forces, removed a -4 level shift debuff from running this content without an alpha slot powered equipped. So if you ran it in the past, you got a -4 level shift debuff if you didn't have an alpha slot. Oops. Oops. Market crash trial. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, so up until this point, I thought I would be able to clear all. I basically work my way through these and have no problem, even if there was an old task force on the list that they brought to Ouroboros. Yeah, Ouroboros is generally speaking where you come to do small group and single player story arcs. You can come and bring a big group in here, of course, but obviously the most people who have a big group together are out doing real task forces and not spending a lot of time playing old story arcs together. So for them to stuff those guys in here with full AV powers is crazy. Unless maybe if you could level shift up more, if it was counting as an incarnate trial, but I don't think it does. Yeah, Minx was purple and you barely beat her. They would ignore your bots and come straight after you. Well, you can't, that would be one of the few times where if you have to, you put your bots on defensive mode. And remember, that would spread the damage out so you're not taking all the damage. So let them come after you type of thing. Might actually be better because you might have better resistances than your bots. And it might be better that way. Plus you can heal. So if they come after you, that's a good thing, I suppose. Because you could spread out the damage and then heal it up. I don't think I could. In fact, I don't think I could do it there because they were just creaming my bots. It wouldn't matter if I was spraying the damage or not. The bots were dropping like flies. There we go. I'm easily amused. Yeah. Yeah, 'tis unfortunate. See you later, Bob. So yeah, I may have to give up on my dream of doing all the Ouros. I may have to give up on my dream of doing all the Ouros. You never seen what, Lord Chaos? Oh, the inner tube? The the donut inner tube. That is part of the emote inner tube. You have chocolate donut. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure who's hanging around the pool in their jeans. Have to get a bathing suit outfit or something picture for that to make sense, but yeah. Anywho, I guess I'll call it a night here, guys. That was fun, though. That was fun. It was different. It was different, if nothing else. The higher end story arcs, I can't wait to do some more of them because I do think they have some really cool things going on in them here and there. But, as is the case with this game, there's so much jankiness and it's all over the board. I was explaining to one guy that I was doing the low-level story arcs, and all of a sudden they put me against level +3 enemies. He didn't believe me, so I showed him on a video. And he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And that's like the jankiness this game, will do. If you're playing World of Warcraft, generally speaking, everything's your level, right? At all times. Unless you purposely go to a high-level area, and then you know what to expect when you get there. Yeah, but here it's not unusual just, in City of Heroes to run into these brick walls. And mind you, I had the settings turned down as low as possible, right? -1 and everything else. And, oh boy, it doesn't really matter, right? It just gives a middle finger to your settings and says, no, you're going to fight 7 arch-villains at once. But yeah, it was interesting, Cyber, right? It definitely is nice after playing like the low-level ones. I always tell people, if you play a lot of characters, then what's going to happen is you're going to see like this, you're going to have like this pyramid of how you see story, or how often you see story arcs, where the bottom of the pyramid is your level 1 through 15 story arcs, because you're doing those over and over and over again, because you built like 50 characters, and you know, 90% of them played in these levels through their first 15 levels, right? Then only 50% of them get up to level 30, and only 10% of them get up to 50 or whatever. But there's this pyramid. So you only see these level 50 missions just this much of the top of the pyramid, but you're seeing the level 1 through 15s over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over again. That's why I do understand when people say, hey, I'm building another character, but this time I'm going to farm it up to 15, 20, 25, 30. I get it. They're tired of seeing the same missions and stuff over and over and over again. I still do them myself, but it is nice knowing, hey, there's this really cool stuff at the high level. I spend more time there. I do have level 50s. I could go back and visit those. I also have level 40, a couple 40 characters that I'm leveling up through some of these 40 to 50 missions. And those have been interesting and different and cool. And there's been some twists and turns here and there. So, including some of the new story arcs that the Homecoming people have put in. And those have been pretty cool too. So, yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Got videos going up daily. Let me know what you think of those. Yeah. Got stuff. We got stuff. Going up just about every day for now. Like I said, I might switch to another game eventually, but for now we got daily videos going up. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Lord Chaos. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Cyber, for hanging out today and watching me go through some different stuff. Ladera, SL, Jerome.
Have a good night.
Yeah, appreciate y'all hanging out tonight. Y'all have a good one, and may God bless you.